Hey, how's it going, everyone? All right. How's it going? My name is Matt. I'm from the Bay Area. I grew up right across the bay in Oakland, California. If I could get a ride home after the show, that'd be fantastic. I'm scared to take BART at night. I'm from Oakland. I went to this private, preppy, high-achieving high school in the hills. You guys don't want to clap for that? I totally get it. And, in high school, from the outside, I was doing all right. I had a good family life at home. I had friends, had a girlfriend. I played sports, 4 years varsity, no big deal. And, but inside, I was actually really insecure. I was totally struggling. I went to this super high-intense environment, high school, where not getting into an Ivy League was a total failure. And I didn't get good grades. I didn't feel as smart as everyone else. I didn't feel like I measured up. I kind of got this reputation as a party kid, stoner, someone who didn't care about school and was just kind of feeling really shitty about it. So I was also just super emotional, which made me the perfect type of person to get involved with slam poetry. So do you guys like slam poetry? Me neither, but it's super important, and we're gonna get into it here. So this was the early 2000s Bay Area, and some friends of mine took me to my first ever poetry slam in downtown Oakland. And it just totally blew my mind, seeing all these kids from different schools just do these amazing rhymes and poems they had written, and they were doing it in this really expressive way with long pauses and weird inflections. Talking with their hands a lot, and I was just really into all of it. And I still remember this one line I heard from this kid that night, from that first night. He's on stage doing this poem about not fitting into his school, some of the same things I was feeling, and he goes, "At school, I never raised my hand to ask permission to go to the bathroom. The only reason I raise my hand is to measure the distance between my fingertips and the stars." So deep. I went home, I started writing immediately. I was I'm gonna be a slam poet. I wrote my first poem, I started performing a little bit around town. So I'm gonna read my first poem right now. And it was about kind of feeling isolated in school, and it was written in this extended metaphor of space travel, obviously. And I'm gonna read it in the same manner that I would have back then, just so you guys are prepared. And if you like it, if you hear something you like, feel free to respond in the way that we would have back then with some snaps. Can I get a few snaps here? Get a snap, thank you. Or if you heard something a really dope rhyme that you liked, you could be But it's as if it feels right. Okay. Here we go. This is Untitled, 2002. Looking back in my past makes me smile and laugh and reminisce on shit like the rhymes we would spit. But out here it's dark and cold, not a soul on this station, as I review the captain's log to jog my memory of the situation. Back then I had a crew, just like Michael had the Jacksons. This is before we knew everything that we now know. So what the fuck happened? Why am I in total blackness? I guess I need to reassess the journey. High school at first was like the beaches of Normandy. Shit started to shift when asteroids hit my ship, so I threw on my spacesuit to go out and see what was wrong with it. But before I knew it, I was sucked through the door with nothing more to extend than this metaphor. And my connection enervated to the point where I was separated, like a door from the hinge trying to grab onto stars, but just getting singed. Thank you. I guess I kind of stole that last line about the stars from that other kid, but fuck him. All right, so around this time, it's junior year, I started smoking weed. For the first time under the Rockridge BART tracks, out of a Hanson soda can. That's true. And so this just made me feel like kind of a badass and like, I don't know, anti-authority even more. And I just really leaned into this bad boy image that I was creating. But I was also like thinking about my identity like a lot. And this is super embarrassing to say now. But at the time, I thought that I might be the Messiah. I just want to say, like, not definitely, just like, you know, probably. So I just want to explain. So my name is Matthew. My Hebrew name is Matisyahu. This is before reggae Matisyahu. And that means gift of God. And I just like really took that to heart. And also, like, you know, I felt like this kind of misunderstood, sort of like misjudged person. And I felt like the Messiah would be someone sort of like that. Like, he wouldn't be like a straight A student, you know? So anyway, I wrote this next poem about all of that. I never performed it in front of anyone until right now. So this poem is unironically titled Gift of God. 2002. As the hymn goes, if the man sitting next to you is not the Messiah, do not worry. As if for salvation of this world we were in no big hurry. But either my neighbor's program had a typo or my eyes were blurry, because all I saw was, he's right next to you, so do not worry. I just want to say that first part, that takes place in shul, so you know the rest is going to be hot fire. From a young age, I aspired to be the Messiah and strived to be all-inclusive, conducive to connecting black and white, wrong from right, popular kids and pariahs. My soul, sweet like a papaya. With vision, I'll pack provisions with precision to lift this world higher. 8 pounds and 12 ounces of pure hope for the future, only to be corrupted by the anger of youth that had me pissing on doorsteps and car handles. Visions of hope dismantled to a chubby boy passed out in a garage, vomit on his breath, love handles hanging out his belt, lights out like a candle. So I rarely believe in God because people die every night unless I want something bad, and I clasp my hands and shut my eyes tight because I refuse to take part in all that fire and brimstone when I could kick it on the porch with my kin and get stoned. But it was written that my people descend from him, and I'm named from the fact that I was sent from him. So I'll make my peace in reading Socrates. I've never read Socrates. And getting high while figuring out what the world needs. But you can find me convinced in the powers that be that I'm here for a reason, and all of you need me. So I just want to say I'm super sorry about that. Just remember, it was the weed smoking, it was the identity searching. I'm pretty sure it was Matisyahu's fault somehow. But even after that poem, I didn't perform it, but I started to kind of like feel myself as a writer and was like, I'm really getting good at this. And then 2 things happened that would forever change the course of my slam poetry career. 1, some other kids at my private preppy high school were getting into slam poetry too, so we like begged the administration to let them perform our poems at an all-school assembly. And they said yes. I was finally gonna get to share it with the whole school. I was so excited. And then 2, something really terrible happened to me. It's actually still a bit hard to talk about, but like I was rejected from Oberlin College, and just all these feelings of like, I was just so wrapped up in like getting into a good school, and I really wanted to go there for some reason, and I just felt like not smart enough and good enough, and I just all rose to the surface, and I went home and I wrote the most furious, authentic, raw, angry poem I'd ever written, and I knew that was the poem I was going to read at the assembly. So the day finally came, everyone comes in, all the students are there, all the faculty, the headmaster was there. This was the type of school where we had a headmaster. And it was suddenly my turn to read, and this is what I read. Judgment, 2003. Anatomically, I'll be easy to see, and precisely I tip the scales at 183, because we be the middle class, not first but not in last, coming in at a high figure but having trouble with the tax. But fuck what you see, that's just me, Matt B. I had a midlife crisis at the age of 17. This kid in my class thinks I'm just a jock because I barely pass and I don't sit at home and watch Spock. He probably knows I drink beer and get in trouble with the cops, so that I'm sipping Natty Ice while he's identifying rocks. A joint or two is all I do, and perhaps sometimes a bowl, but they look at me shocked like I was smoking from a Bible scroll. Outstanding, amazing. These words barely graze me as I run like bullets from a gun to escape my mediocrity, surrounded by hypocrisy and people with more money and estates than Monopoly. As wealthy families tell me what I need to be, I see these universities don't look right for me, and I'm tired of all this bullshit pressure. So fuck this, undo the button of my Levi's and suck this. So like, yeah, the crowd was going nuts. Like, it was just like, I think I blacked out afterwards. It was a blur. Like, people were coming up to me, giving me high fives, and like telling me they were so impressed, like they didn't know I could write like that. And I was just like, I know. I was like, I just felt on top of the world. But later that day, the headmaster called me into his office. And I was just like, I was ready to go to war. I was like, oh, they're going to expel me. Like, they just can't handle me being this real. And the worst part was, like, he wasn't even mad. He was like, are you okay? Like, he was, like, genuinely concerned for my well-being. I was like, nah, man, that's me being real. That's just real. But then he said that he had met with some of the faculty, and there was like some concern about like the content and language of my poem, and they had discussed maybe removing me from the student council. But so like any bad boy, stoner, slam poet would do, I started crying immediately. Just openly weeping in his office and begging him to let me keep my seat on student government. And I'm proud to say I was able to retain my position on the student council. Thank you. But the bad boy image I'd been working on for 4 years was completely out the windows. So I kept doing slam poetry for a few more years and even into college, and thankfully gave it up pretty soon after that. And so looking back, I'm pretty embarrassed by all of that, and it was pretty cringeworthy, but at the same time, I'm a little bit in awe of my younger self for just being so willing to be vulnerable and expressive, and I think there's real value in doing that as a young person, so I just want us to always support the young slam poets in our lives. And before I get out of here, I'm just going to read the last few lines of my poem, Judgment. But that's just me, Matt B., body and soul, might not ever make it to the honor roll. I never meant to be judged in this way. I'll never write again, because this is all I have to say. Thank you.
We're worried about you. We want to know that you're okay. We know you didn't get into Oberlin. And I hope Brown will be okay. It's okay, you're not the Messiah. You're still special in your own way. It's okay that you're just another person trying to find their way. You don't need to be the Messiah to still be okay in the world. I'm trying to tell you, you can just be a regular person, yeah. Slam poetry might be what you need to find your identity. It's so hard, my friend, growing up in the Bay Area. It's so hard to know who you're supposed to be. Hey, pass that Hanson's cream soda can. I like to really take a puff while the BART train's going by. BART train. Maybe afterwards, after we get really high, we'll go up to Zachary's Pizza. They still do slices for lunch.
Deep dish.
Then we'll have to go back to school. And I know that I'm no fool, yeah. Well, I think that I am the chosen one because I think I got the best score on my SATs. That means God has chosen me. It's in my name. It's in my name. I'm the gift of God. How could I interpret this wrong? I'm the gift of God, so that means that any other person is not wrong. To think that I am so special, I'm so special.
Special.
And living in this country, looking like I do. It's so true that white men are special. I'm so special. Yeah, I'm special. It's not my fault. I'm just the Messiah. I'm special. Ooh, I'm special. It's not my fault. I'm white and I'm a man. I'm special.
Ooh, I'm
yeah,
special.
it's not my fault.
It's not my fault. Yeah.
Please don't be offended. I am special.
Special.
So special.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
And when I stepped up in front of my school and said, you should suck my penis, even though I didn't say penis, I talked about unbuttoning my fly, which implied my penis. I just want you to know that you should feel that you should suck my penis, because I'm special. And when my headmaster called me into his office, I cried out of my penis.
Special.